Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a pretty interesting video to get into. We have some news about a game that might have just been delayed indefinitely, and I was actually looking forward to this game very much. We have an update on Zelda Echoes of Wisdom sales numbers, and it seems like it's off to a very strong start. We have one of the best game developers talking about the Nintendo Switch 2, and Nintendo recently just shared some news. And in that news, were they actually teasing the Switch 2? Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. Let's just go ahead and get right into the video. So ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate all the support I've been getting lately. We're like at 12,100 subscribers and we just hit 12K a few days ago. That's pretty cool. So what did I go out and do for you lovely humans? I paid $1 million. That's right, don't ask me where I got the $1 million. I paid $1 million for somebody at Nintendo to draw me a detailed picture of the Switch 2. Because if I'm not going to do it, then who the hell will? And as a little treat for all of your support lately, I'm about to show you that picture. If you're standing up, you might want to sit down because this is about to get crazy. This is, in fact, what the Switch 2 will look like. I know, hold your applause. You're probably typing in the comments, you're a hero, you're a legend. And while all of those things are true, and probably a little bit more, this is just my job to bring you the hard-hitting news first. Now that we have got all of that out the way, before we get started, if you could hit a like and subscribe, it would truly mean the world to me. And let's go ahead and get right into the video. So a series that I got in pretty late in life, just a few years ago actually, I bought Assassin's Creed 3 for PlayStation 3, probably like 2017, 2018, somewhere around there, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I'm a big fan of history, and I know the games aren't telling history accurately, but it's still pretty fun. And it's a really cool take on history. So yeah, I really enjoyed the game. And then I found out that Assassin's Creed 3 is technically a bad game, or people think it's one of the weakest Assassin's Creed games. So it just shows what I know, right? But the Assassin's Creed game I played next is still the greatest Assassin's Creed game of all time. I was going to say in my opinion, but I almost feel like it's factual. And I'm talking about Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. It is the definitive pirate game in all of gaming. And I loved every second of it. They really are doing some great stuff in the Assassin's Creed series, but one of the problems is either the games are too long, or there's almost too many games. They're coming out non-stop. So there's been rumors in the industry that Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is getting a remaster or remake. And I am so freaking happy, because I haven't played an Assassin's Creed game that I actually liked in a long time. But before that, we have Assassin's Creed Shadows coming out. And now apparently, that game is messing up the release of the remake of Assassin's Creed 4. So here's the rumor, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Remake was targeting 2025 release. And that seems strange because Assassin's Creed Shadows is coming out at the end of this year, or maybe the beginning of next year, so they're going to drop 2 games in 1 year? A new report suggests that Ubisoft was originally targeting a November 2025 release for the rumored remake of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. But that may no longer be the case following the recent delay of Assassin's Creed Shadows. So Assassin's Creed Shadows was supposedly coming out next month, but is now targeting a February 14th, 2025 release date. Could you not think of a better thing to be doing for Valentine's Day? So now if that game is coming out in February of 2025, does it make sense to release the Assassin's Creed 4 remake also in 2025? Maybe, I don't know. They have a big article here, we're not going to read all this. A couple things I want to add on to this. I read a report that's probably also in this article that Ubisoft wants to release 10 Assassin's Creed games in the next 5 years, which would be 2 per year. So I mean, maybe they'll release both of these games next year, but it doesn't really make sense. Ubisoft is kind of in trouble right now. They lost like $600 million on, God, I can't even remember, but it's not even worth looking up. Whatever the damn pirate game was called. Whatever pirate game they released, they lost $600 million on that. Now Assassin's Creed Shadows being delayed, and that being delayed delays Assassin's Creed 4 Remake. And I don't really know what the hell's going on in Ubisoft, but I've been seeing people say that there might be a gaming industry collapse. And at first I was like, yeah, that sounds a little extreme. That actually might be the case for a lot of these big game developers, so time will tell. But yeah, I'm kind of bummed about this because I was really looking forward to the Assassin's Creed 4 Remake. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the biggest Nintendo Switch game of this year, probably, I don't even think you can argue that, is The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. They announced this game, I think, in April, and dropped it in September, and it came out quick. I really find it strange because we just got Tears of the Kingdom last year, and now we have a new Zelda game a year later, and it's Zelda. It's going to sell relatively well. But I feel like for some reason the hype around this game died down a lot right around release, and since it has came out, I haven't really heard people continue to talk about it. Like the week of and a few days after, I was seeing it nonstop, and now all mentions are kind of gone. Opposed to Tears of the Kingdom where people are still talking about that game, or even Breath of the Wild. People are talking about that game like 7 or 8 years later. So I'm very curious how this game sold, at least in the first week. So the sales we have right here are only for Japan. Keep that in mind. But it was the #1 selling game the week that it came out in Japan, and it sold 200,000 copies, and that is highly impressive in my opinion. Yes, Nintendo is a Japanese company, and games are probably going to do well over there regardless, because, you know, they like gaming just like we do. That's where everything comes from. But 200,000 copies? I think that's pretty good. Now, that's just Japan. If we factor in the whole rest of the world, I would say America probably sold 500,000 copies, and then when you factor in the rest of the world, maybe another 300,000 or 400,000. So this game probably sold 1 million copies the first week. Because for the more casual gamer, they normally stick to the 3D Zelda games. I feel like, I hate to use these words, but I'm just using them for a lack of having better words right now. The more diehard or the more real gamers will play the 2D Zelda games. 2D Zelda games, kind of some of my favorite. Like, I like the 3D Zelda games. Wind Waker is always going to be my favorite. But 2D Zelda, man, there's something about it. It's just so amazing. It's so damn good. It's just such a tight gaming experience. So seeing this game do this well, this late in the Switch's life, and it's a game where you're playing as Zelda. And yeah, that's what we want, but there are some people who aren't going to play this just because of that. So yeah, I'm very excited to see the future of 2D Zelda games. Now, I don't know where Zelda's going to go in the future. It seems like this game was highly inspired by the creativity you had in Tears of the Kingdom, and in this game you can kind of do anything as well. I hope they don't continue that trend in future Zelda games, but maybe that's just my opinion, right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's start talking about the Switch 2 a little bit. The day you're watching this video is Monday, October 7th. Hopefully, the day that this video comes out, Nintendo says there's a presentation this week. I'm expecting to get that announcement on Tuesday, maybe for Wednesday or Thursday. If not this week, maybe next week or by the end of October. But I would almost bet anything it happens in October, because the timing makes sense to where it almost has to happen in October. But let's see what one of the most popular game developers has to say about the Switch 2. Devolver Digital comments on Nintendo's next console. Devolver makes some of the best damn games of all time on the Switch. Devolver Digital COO Graeme Struthers? It's a very strange name. Recently spoke with Game Reactor during a preview event for its upcoming indie title, Neva. Neva, I think, is the sequel to Gris, if I'm not mistaken. In addition to praising the Nintendo Switch for being more indie-friendly than other systems, Struthers expressed his excitement about seeing what the company has in store for its next mainline console. He said that he would like to see more Devolver Digital published titles on Nintendo's future hardware, but that everyone will have to wait and see what happens. I think I remember seeing last September that dev kits were initially sent out, so it's been a whole year since a lot of these companies had dev kits. Devolver really does make some of the best games. I think the game that I played recently from them was Cult of the Lamb, and after I beat the game I was like, damn, this was so good, what else has Devolver made? And it turns out almost every game that I love on the Switch, it's an indie game, they had something to do with. But them saying but that everyone will have to wait and see what happens, I'm sure they're already working on games for this console, maybe even have games completed for that console. So if I had to bet, a lot of these companies have probably made some pretty exciting stuff for Nintendo's next console. And the last bit of information we have today is coming from Nintendo themselves. Like, yes, I'm probably reading into this more than is there, but who the hell cares, right? This is all for entertainment anyway. Nintendo recently showed off the Nintendo Museum, and if you look a little bit close in the actual museum, it seems like they're hinting at the Switch 2. So here's a picture from inside the Nintendo Museum, and when you look like this, you can just see every single console. I'm pretty sure this is the Game & Watch, and then it goes this way, this way, this way, then this way. Nintendo, are you okay over there? That is a very strange way to organize a shelf, but there's an empty space right here. So I can only assume that that's for the Switch 2. This image has been going around Twitter, and a lot of people are like, everybody who thinks that this is for the Switch 2, you guys are reaching, or you're making more out of this, but what else would it be for? It's not like they just ran out of space. This is definitely for the Switch 2. So yeah, it seems like Nintendo's having a little bit of fun before this console comes out or before this console is revealed. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about all this information? This week coming up is either going to be another week where we're wondering what the hell's happening, or it might turn out to be the most exciting week we've had in Nintendo news for a very long time. So in the comments below, as always, let me know your thoughts and opinions. If you have made it this far, follow your boy on Instagram, that would be pretty cool. And you guys know me, I will see you very soon with a new video. Peace out.